So,
Morning, doctor.
how are you?
Good morning.
Hello.
Toby. Hi, Toby. That's Dex right here. He's going to be coming from the back.
Nice to meet you, Dex.
Super excited to know about your Oklahoma journey.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But
I
you know,
hear
I'm a Lakers fan. I'm Filipino, so I'm a Lakers
oh
fan.
oh
Like
I get
everybody
it. I
Really? You're
mean,
going to lead
here.
with that? What's wrong with you, dude?
it's a
Yeah,
massive
but but you know what you guys did in Oklahoma, having like all these young guys, really, it's just something else.
I appreciate that. Erwin, I'm hearing like an echo of my
Echo?
voice. I'm wondering if there's a way I can stop that.
Uh,
Maybe.
Dex.
Maybe you might need to wear earphones, Doctor Toby.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah,
Okay, hold on.
or you've
Oh,
opened
because,
multiple
oh, yeah.
windows.
I I don't love that.
Yeah, that's
Hope
probably
it doesn't.
also like if you're not, if you're not, what happens? It bounces off from the,
Let me see if I'm hearing an echo. Oh, I still hear it. But I mean, I can work around it.
no, we have to fix that. That's going to like make things really, really challenging.
Yeah.
Uh,
Robin, can you hear us?
oh, I can hear all you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me see if I put the. Okay, I'm turning it back on. Oh, okay, it's still there.
I think it's also I think your mic is on in one of your apps. What browser are you using?
There's WhatsApp, so I'll take that off.
Yeah, take the WhatsApp
Spotify,
off.
Spotify took that off. It's still going. Uh, hmm. There are two. I don't know if it's because when I put my voice mic on, I can hear it in Dex's, and there's another.
Robin, can you check?
There's two
She's
decks.
using.
Oh,
Oh, there's
Dex,
two.
that's why. Because the one that probably you're broadcasting right now, because I'm even like doubling my voice now.
Oh, let me check if I'm in other because I shouldn't.
Microphone.
Let me check.
Toby, can you talk to try again?
Okay.
Hello? Can you hear me, guys?
Bouncing.
Yeah, I can still hear. I think it's because there's two on decks. I think maybe one is causing the sound.
Yeah, I think I only have one right now. Let me turn off everything. Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Dex, you're the only one that I don't hear an
Maybe
echo for.
if it's like most Redex, I think.
How's that?
Can you
Better?
try muting Redex?
No, you're bouncing still.
Oh wow, everything's turned off.
So there's
Or maybe because you're
definitely.
sharing and it's bouncing from your decks.
I'm sorry.
If you're sharing your screen, that is, it means that
Let me
it's like
try.
sharing.
How's that?
Hello?
I think that
How's
might
this?
have.
Yeah, that's
Hold
better.
on.
See? No, we're back.
I still hear the echo,
Yeah,
but
me
it's
too.
funny. It looks like it's coming from Dex.
I'm gonna leave, then I'm gonna join again.
Okay.
All right. Let me see. Let me see.
Or actually try muting deck. There you go. Toby, talk. Try it.
Oh, this sounds like it might be better. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, see? Three, what happened is like three's a crowd. It can't work.
I wonder why. Where mic? Why?
See, that's why it's Dex is the issue.
No, I'm so curious what that was. I'm like, I don't know if it's the fact that like when one person's talking, then you can hear that person through the mic of the other is what
And
I'm
then goes
assuming.
bounces up this way. So
Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
Let's see as we let's see. All right.
Does this work? Am I still echoing now?
Nope.
Let's see. No, it looks better.
All right, and let me see if we can put your slide in, guys. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Better? All right. So
Yeah.
we'll start in like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll turn off my camera and you guys just let's see who else is here.
So are we
All right.
technically live already, Dex, or no, not yet? Because we start when we
Technically
press.
we are.
Oh, hey guys, what's up? By the way.
Yeah, but
So you mean like people can actually see this already, even though we're like figuring it out?
yes, actually. If they go in, right? So we'll invite all the members again.
Okay. And then I have to press the record button, correct, to start it?
I did record already, sir, for you.
Oh, you
No
did
worries.
already. Okay.
Awesome. Erwin, how are you doing?
Good. I'm going through it right now, just almost, my self-imposed 13-week travel rotational internship, understanding billing and codes and all that other stuff. It's a massive learning experience after being in pro sports for almost 20 years where you don't really have to think about all that stuff.
I can imagine.
Now to actually do it, I'm doing it on purpose to understand how insurance works. Not that
Yeah.
I plan to open an insurance practice, but just in case I get thrown one, at least I have an
Yeah.
understanding of how it works rather than just
Yeah.
being blind and now asking ChatGPT to help me, but because I've never experienced it myself. So I think
Yeah.
just for me, it's important to be able to um, get the firsthand experience. It's been really 25 years since I've been in a private practice that needed billing. So,
Mhm.
so it's been kind of an interesting. It's a bit interesting transition back in to
Yeah.
then be able to use that moving forward as a knowledge base for me to be able to tackle anything from the admin side. I think us as clinicians, we get so good and so directed at being such a good clinician that we forget
Yeah.
that's only half of what it means to be a practitioner.
Completely.
So for me, it's an interesting phase. Like I met a kid today who just graduated, who this is his first job, and
Wow.
and he went to St. Augustine as well. So it was kind of funny for me. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing an alumni whatever like showcase, or they're doing a profile on me at St. Augustine. And he was like, "Oh
Oh.
yeah, I just graduated," and I was like, "Oh my god, like
I
that's so
love that
old,
you're doing that. I love that
that's
you're
so
doing it.
old." He was like, "Yeah, it's my first job," and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh.
I was like, "Wow." It's like they said that your first job is going to be the job you end with. I was like, "Nope, it's not. It's just it's a phase, but you just need to get through it." So
I hear, I hear. No, I love that you're doing that. I'm wishing you all the best with it. I feel like I've gotten bits and pieces like through courses, just like talking to people who are still in the clinical setting and then like going to different clinics when I see like my athletes over the summer and like it is an entire world I know when it comes to billing and coding. So,
yeah. Oh, here we go. It's 2:10.
okay.
Dex, are we ready to rock here?
Yeah, we're ready to rock. Let me take out my screen. All right.
And do you have to take? Will you be included because you're still on the screen? Oh, there you go. All right,
It's
we're gonna
better.
start this. Oh no, you just went upside down, Toby.
Okay, so it's best I go this way. Okay, how was
Yeah. Oh my,
did I
I'm like,
do
don't do
portrait?
that yet.
Okay.
All right, what I'm
No
going to do
worries.
is going to do the intro of the actual this event, and then I'll go about the intro of what this collaboration is, and then I'm going to just you and then we'll get to it. Okay. So this
Perfect.
is a weird, this is a funny new interface where it is kind of streaming live right now, but at the same time, we can actually, because it's recorded, chop it up into an actual episode. So it's
Wonderful.
kind of one of those funny dual platforms where you can actually create it, and then once it's done, it actually can take out all the fillers and just create like
Okay.
a full episode on its own.
Okay. Okay. That's unique.
Your internet's good. You're ready to rock.
Awesome. Awesome. Ready to go.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So that's something. So that Dex has it on the mic. 1, 2, 3. Action. Welcome to the Grasshopper Project pre-summit podcast powered by GIGAVERSE in collaboration with Tier 1 Entertainment. This isn't just a podcast or a show or an event. It's a moment of a reflection in a world that rarely slows down. A place for us to step away from the noise and lean into some stories that shape us, and not just what we do, but who we are. Whether you're tuning in from a locker room, whether you're tuning in from a boardroom, a dorm room, or anywhere else that this finds itself to you, you're here because you're ready to grow, not just upward, but inward. At the intersection of performance, identity, and technology lives a new kind of conversation. The Grasshopper Project and GIGAVERSE, as well as Tier 1, have come together to reimagine what it means to tell our stories in a digital-first world. We're honoring the processes that lead to progress, the setbacks, the rituals, the small moments that never make the feed, but shape everything that we see, feel, and hear. This pre-summit invites you to get into these moments and be part of the conversation that is the GP Summit 2025 pre-game event. Our guest today is someone who lives in the intersection of science and soul. Tobi Owatomo is an athletic trainer and physical therapist for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But if you think that that means her work is only physical, you're missing the deeper story. Tobi is a guardian of recovery, a strategist of resiliency, and a quiet architect behind the scenes of the greatness that she sees in front of her. In a world obsessed with output, she honors the process. The culture driven by speed, she teaches the value of how to slow down. Her work really happens before the lights come on and long after the buzzer stops. Today, she joins us to share the unseen, often unspoken journey that led her here. Tobi, welcome. We're honored to have you here on Grasshopper Project Summit. I've flubbered my own intro here to the GP Summit pre-game. Welcome, hello, and greetings and good evening.
Well, Erwin, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm super excited to be here, and I'm excited for us to chat today.
So let's get to it.
Right?
Before the degrees, the credentials, and the career, who actually was Tobi? And what were the early experiences that shaped your path to healing and, in essence, today, performance?
Yeah. Oh, that's a loaded one, but I always start by saying I'm a child of God first and foremost. And just growing up, I've always just been a young, probably super ambitious in a way, woman who loved sports, who loved people, um, and who loved, funny enough, like just like hanging around good people. So growing up, I initially grew up in Staten Island, New York, moved to like the
Staten Island.
Staten Island, New York. So I know the borough that everyone wants to pretend isn't really a borough, but that's where I grew up. And then eventually I moved to a town outside of Toronto called Mississauga, really close. It's where the airport is. And then, I mean, I grew up just simply playing a lot of sports, hanging with my friends, learning who I was as a person, and enjoying life. I soon realized that, I eventually really, really wanted to get into sports, work in sports, simply just because of how much it felt like home, how much it felt like uh, almost just like it was natural. It didn't feel like a job. It didn't feel like anything. I love science and I love sports, so it was like the perfect blend for sure.
And so, what was the moment you knew that this was going to take you actually getting into an actual profession? And
Yeah,
what was like the purpose to get into this profession? Share that
yeah.
journey.
So I always say the moment I knew is funny because the person, okay, so I used to volunteer at a community center that was right next to my apartment. I was down in kind of like the city center of Mississauga, Ontario. And there was a community YMCA right next to our apartment building. I volunteered there every single day. And the only reason I probably did that so often was because there used to be basketball runs that ran there on a daily basis. And I was assigned to the basketball program, not necessarily knowing what I was getting into. But the basketball runs were highly competitive. Actually, a lot of those guys that used to be a part of those runs are in the NBA today, which is funny. Yeah, really funny. So I had this opportunity to go there every day, just make sure everything ran smoothly. And I remember I enjoyed it so much to the point where I was like, oh my goodness, like why do I love being here so much? I just love watching it. I love seeing the guys get better, supporting them, just being there. One day, a guy dislocated his finger, and for whatever reason, me, my little like ninth grade, 10th grade self, he walked up to me and was like, hey, like, what do I do? And I was like, I don't know. I kind of wish I knew, but I don't. And it was funny because I went home that exact day and told my mom, like, hey, this is what happened. Like, I wonder if there's people that help players, like, at the Raptors games and stuff like that. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm sure there is. They're probably like physical therapists." And I just went through I guess the internet and essentially found athletic trainers. I realized a lot of them were physical therapists too. So I just set out on a journey that very day and was like, I know exactly what I have to do. Because it just felt so natural.
Speaking of natural, it's funny that you mentioned Mississauga because there's a
Yeah.
famed Mississauga native that was once Nick, named RJ Barrett,
Oh
who
yeah.
owns a nice little smoothie smoothie bar, smoothie shop
Does
in
he?
Mississauga right now.
I did not know that.
What's the name of the smoothie? What's a pretty well known smoothie?
Booster juice. Does he have a
Booster
booster
juice,
juice?
yeah.
Oh, he has a booster juice?
Yes,
That's
he's got a booster
awesome.
juice.
That's awesome. Good
I remember
for
one
him.
time, once he started investing in like owning like a franchise, he actually brought a bunch of booster juice
Are you
to the
serious?
arena when we were playing the Raptors. Obviously now he's a Raptor, so it's kind of funny.
Good
Shout
for
out to RJ
him.
Barrett in the
Good for
house.
him.
Mississauga. I mean, Shay is also from Mississauga, right? Is that
Shay is
correct?
from Hamilton, and that's
Oh
actually
yes,
funny enough
yes.
where I live, where my family lives now. So, I mean,
And on
yeah.
top of that, I'll have to say Mississauga is also well known, as I found out through
Yeah.
RJ, well known to have a pretty significant Filipino population as well. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. I grew up around tons of Filipinos. My best friend is like Filipino, so it's very normal. It's very, very normal.
also
Yeah.
Mississauga, I was like, wait a minute, it's like Filipino time. I think my cousins live in Mississauga right
But
now.
to be honest, that's really like the greater Toronto area in general.
True,
Like,
true.
I mean, and Filipinos love basketball out there too. So like they're out there balling too.
Going the runs, short
Yeah.
Filipino kids still trying their hardest.
They're going crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah. The girls too. The girls too. They're
yeah.
good.
They're
They're
baller.
really good.
They're
There's
baller.
Filipino leagues in Mississauga that
Yes,
are
I
really popular.
I
Yeah.
believe it. I believe
Yeah.
it. So we'll transition into believing it, and obviously, believing in yourself is one of the things that I think most of the kids that will see this as part of the mentorship program that is the Grasshopper Project, um, really will cling to as seeing you, and not only in action when you've gone to work, but also the journey that you've been through. So with working with elite athletes, the pressure obviously is everywhere, hence the reason why it's important to believe in yourself. But what's the pressure most people don't see, and how do you stay grounded in the midst of the pressure building up in you, besides believing in yourself?
Okay, the pressure people don't see. Uh, when athletes get injured, I think in a way, the athlete definitely is bearing the heaviest like load of that. But without a doubt, when you have the blessing to work alongside an athlete, you want them to get better, you know, I don't want to say as much as you need to breathe, but you want them to get better very, very badly, to the point where people don't know, but like you go to sleep thinking about what you're going to do the next day with that athlete to move the needle. You're in the grocery store thinking about things. You see something, you're like, "Ooh, we need to do this, that, and the third." Like it runs through your mind constantly, thinking about how you can get them back. There's so many different things that players will need to play for, whether it be meeting certain marks for, league, awards or contracts or this, that, and the third. So, on top of wanting them to make sure that they're healthy and, getting back when they need to, you're also trying to make sure that athletes can accomplish goals of their own. So, I think in a way that's also just like a pressure that you also hold because
Mm.
you want to do the best you can for them.
Speaking of goals, was it always your goal to make it to the NBA?
For a long time it was. I it's one of these things where I thank God literally every day because I don't I don't it was such a specific dream, to the point that when you're there, it's hard to even believe that you really are, you know. I wanted to do this from the day that guy, injured his
A
finger
dislocated
and
finger.
like dislocated his finger in the ninth grade.
Here's a
You
question.
know?
Actually, I'll go right into that.
Yeah.
Do you still remember that dude? And have you ever told him what his question has done in your life?
Yeah, I still remember that dude. I still know him, still talk to him, but I'd never told him specifically that that triggered everything it triggered. One day I will, but I never told him that it triggered that
I
much.
think it'd be interesting for you to log it in to
Yeah,
your journal, your memories, or whatever, to
yeah,
actually have that conversation about where you've come from and where you
yeah,
are now, and how one simple gesture of somebody who didn't know what to do with a piece of his body sparked this thing in you. And I think it's
completely.
something that you should definitely, um, I think, follow through with.
Yeah, honestly, just because you said that, maybe sometime this year I'll say something. But I believe
Yeah,
it was definitely a pivotal moment in like the strangest way. Like I never would have thought that that would have come from all of that, for sure.
I think what we'll do now as well, the audience, is hold you accountable that before the year ends, this will be your September or your last quarter lock-in,
Okay.
is finding a moment in time to send gratitude. Or
Yeah.
actually, speaking of which, actually, even a better way to do this, as gratitude is my thing, both from a practice but also an academic standpoint. And one of the
Yeah.
most powerful tools in the world of positive psychology is the gratitude letter. And so the gratitude letter, which really is you writing a letter of gratitude to somebody who you maybe haven't really spoken to in a while, or maybe had the falling out, or somebody who sparked some moment in your life. And maybe just writing a letter and sending it to that person and giving it to that person, let that person read it in front of you without you having to react,
Mm.
actually elevates your overall well-being for at least 3 weeks. And
Wow.
be able to practice that on a regular basis gives you an opportunity to just live a well-lived life for that month. And then if you repeat that every
Just
year,
keeps
just
going.
one letter, keeps on going. So I think that's one of the things that we're going to hold you accountable for, that gratitude letter
I
for
love that. I love that. Any bits and pieces I can take to live a more well-rounded, happy life, I'm down for it. So I'm into it.
Speaking of happy life, what are some of the
Mhm.
things that you've done for yourself in the realm of self-care to ensure that in the midst of all the pressure we talked about, in the midst of all the challenges throughout a season, what do you do to take care of yourself?
Yeah. So, wow, it's so multifaceted, and it's an ever growing thing for me, deciding the things that I'm going to continue to do to take care of myself. But I've said it already before, but like it all starts with my faith. For me, there's just so many different things that life throws at you,
Mm,
and I've found that the only way in which I can remain grounded, in which I can remain sane, without excess anxiety, stress, is just to understand that my anchor and my life anchor is something way greater and more powerful than me. And for me, that's Jesus.
mm.
So that's always been my biggest thing, keeping my faith, praying, and just staying centered, reading his word. Now, adjuncts to that, I love to enjoy like anything that like my heart is calling me towards. Like this past week, I realized that like I really wanted to like renovate my bedroom. So pulled up to Home Depot, got 5 gallons of paint sprayer, like got all this stuff and just enjoyed DIYing my bedroom for like a week. You know what I mean? It was just something I could do outside of work. It was different. Um, and things like that. I enjoy exercise. So getting up and running every morning and like taking care of my body is something I personally enjoy. And I feel like it keeps me not only fit, but also feeling empowered and healthy. And that's always big for me. So just taking care of my health in general and enjoying hobbies and fun activities that my heart just so happens to draw me to at different times.
Tell me more about this DIY situation, because not everyone
Yeah.
suddenly wakes up one and then says, "Hey, I'm going to remodel my bedroom." Are you
Yeah.
a big fan of Magnolia Network or any of this,
All
or
that.
Home Shopping Network, or any of these shows that allow people to really like be inspired by fixing their homes? Do you hang out with you? Like, do you love watching the twins? I mean, you know.
So, I mean, thank God for social media. I don't necessarily watch cable anymore, but I did growing up. I was a extreme home makeover, all of
Home
those things.
makeover. Woof.
Funny
Yeah.
enough, I saw Ty Pennington like walking down the street. I'm not kidding you. In LA last week, I was there for a course. That was kind of fun. But for me, I've just always been super inspired by like arts and crafts. My
Mm.
mom is a lawyer by trade, but she is very artsy. She loves to build things. She's got saws and all this stuff you can imagine in our family homes, like garage. She does all sorts of stuff. So for me, that is not so crazy because she did that kind of stuff growing up. There was one day in like our old house that she woke up and said, "Hey, I'm tired of carpet." And she invited a friend over, and the two of them ripped the carpet out of our whole entire house. So
We
that's
were
what I
like,
grew up around.
"What's happening here?" Oh, we
Exactly.
just want to change just a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Speaking of change, change always occurs in professional sports or in sports in general. And as you mentioned earlier, you have found ways to make sure you take care of yourself. Um, how do you help the athletes that you serve continue to reconnect with themselves and take care of themselves beyond the high performance aspect of it?
Yeah. I think that's a great question because I think that's a big part of everything we do, as you would know. Um, I think my what I've been using a lot lately is the power of perspective.
Mm.
Um, feel like it's very easy, and Erwin, I'm sure once again you probably in ways can relate to this, but when you keep achieving dreams in life, I think it's very easy to get to a certain place where you've become slightly adversity averse in a way. Like you're not any little thing, smaller things that would never have bugged you years ago or wouldn't have caused such a big wouldn't have been such a big deal to you now bother you because everything is kind of going well in your life. Um, so some of the things I discuss with my athletes as well as myself, everything I do with them, I do with myself, is just helping them to remember the whole picture, helping them to remember that, hey, yeah, this kind of thing that you're going through sucks in this very moment, but I need you to understand that it is just a season, a small blimp in the road. Like, and in the grand scheme of things, all will be well. Like, and just kind of, I'm saying this in general terms, but like really putting it into perspective for their specific situations. So that's been a big one lately.
Have you ever doubted yourself?
I think for sure. I feel like there's moments of that all the time. There's moments of imposter syndrome, not all of that. There's moments of, I wouldn't say completely doubting myself, but there's moments of not necessarily realizing that you're capable of more than you may think you are. Um, yeah, that
Ooh, that's a
comes.
nice soundbite right there. That's a nice.
But that's definitely there. I just feel like having systems and systems and people in place in your life that help you to remember immediately that there's no place for that has been the key for me. But yes, I feel like just like everybody, there's moments of that.
uh,
Mm.
the role of a physical therapist and athletic trainer in an NBA setting or in a bad pro sports setting in general is often misunderstood because of the fact that they think there's only one thing that we do, or if you're dual credential, there's one or two things that you do.
Yeah,
And you know, what is it that you can like share, especially for the kids that are listening to this, who maybe one day want to follow in your footsteps? What's what's part of the role that is really deeply meaningful to you that isn't
yeah,
necessarily defined by the credential that
yeah,
you own?
yeah. Um, I don't know if even I knew going into what I was going into how much you just become a part of that athlete or athletes' lives. You are their physical therapist, but your time with them is not limited to your 30-minute to an hour treatment session a day. It's you're there for the whole day. You're there during practice. You're there with them, and chatting with them after practice. You're there when we travel to the game. You're there at lunch. You're there at breakfast. If we're on the road, you're there at dinner. You're there when we after the game. You're there when we go home. You're there at the hotel after the game when there's post game treatment. Like sometimes, and then some days, we're on the road for a week or more, and you're there with them all day, and that goes for months. So you end up being more than just a physical therapist. You're a part of their daily life. You're one of the few people that they constantly see. So, in turn, one of the biggest responsibilities is making sure that you're a positive injection into that environment. You're providing a light. You're a source of comfort. You're a source of kindness. You're a source of helpful. Just being helpful. Some of these rookies are new to Oklahoma. Helping
Yeah.
them to navigate the newness of their environment, helping people to navigate different things in life. You're right there. You're somebody who can potentially be the, um, I guess, the avenue to them getting help that they need on so many different levels. So you end up just becoming a major portion of their lives. And I don't think I realized that back then how much how much of a, I guess, a space you hold in the lives of each one of those athletes, probably more than any other
Mm.
department, to be honest.
Speaking of being involved in lives, for those of you in the audience right now on this new kind of platform that we're using, Gigaverse, we are welcome to ask questions on the little tab in the corner. There's an orange tab here. You can ask questions if you'd like, so we can go through some Q&A a little bit later. Also, if you have a comment or anything to share, maybe the fact that just listening to Tobi, you're already inspired, please share it down on the little comment section. And if you have a reaction, simply just press that little heart sign, or Dex is sampling it with like a thumbs up. We got a number of people that are here that are doing this as well. We are very new to this platform. This platform is actually quite new in itself, and we're very blessed to be part of their journey into understanding how they can serve the greater good of people who are trying to not only grow community, but also share some amazing stories, particularly those of service, of love, and of course of support for those who maybe need it more than anyone else. And us and me representing my nonprofit, the Grasshopper Project, which is a mentorship nonprofit for people who want to be in the health and wellness industry, health, wellness, and performance industries. I think being able to listen in to these conversations will help inspire them to know that a kid from Staten Island or a kid from Manila can make it on the grand NBA stage, and whether that's Madison Square Garden or it's in Oklahoma with a championship trophy next to her, anything is possible. So please join in the fun if you must, and share your comments, your questions, and make sure as we propagate this into social media, share any kind of inspirational quote, soundbite that you have, and then let people know that that there are people in this world here to inspire others. That said, speaking of technology, so what do you see technology as today? Like these projects like Gigaverse here or Grasshopper Project, where we use the power of technology to support a nonprofit mentorship program. How can we use technology to reshape what we express, how we heal, and how we grow in this digital era?
Wow. That's another big question, but I mean, it's also very relevant. Without a doubt, technology is finding its way into every aspect of life. And honestly, I could point to exactly what we're doing right now. Or when people like you who have beautiful voices and, have amazing things to say that inject nothing but positivity and teaching people how to live a more meaningful life. I feel like that's the stuff that we need to see. That's the stuff that we need to see. Whether it's in the world of, you work in the world of sports, or you're in the corporate environment, or anything like that. People using their voice to spread positivity end. Will never stop being one of the best things about technology. I think we could all remember seeing something really positive on television when we were younger. We can all remember TikToks that we watched just yesterday that were great. And, we almost had to save it because it was so beautiful. It was so joyful. It connected a human like experience. It told us that we weren't the only ones that were experiencing something, or, it made us remember something funny about the way we grew up or something. So, uh, technology is such a diverse word, but I would just say people sharing positive things and people being authentically them in a way that uplifts others, I think is a beautiful thing.
Wow. Who would have thought you were such an eloquent answer of questions?
Thank you. I appreciate you for thinking that. I sure
Must
do.
be the
Thank
nicest of being Canadian. So,
Oh, thank you. Well, shout out to Canadians.
shout out to Canada.
Yeah.
Hey.
Good people there.
So, if your younger self could sit across from you right now, what would you tell her?
If I can sit next to my younger self, I would just say that it gets better. Everything in life gets better. keep working, keep being exactly who you are. Anybody who, I would literally say anything or anybody who tries to discourage you, bring you down, just know that in a couple of years, every time something like that happens, you're going to learn that there was nothing to worry about. There was nothing there to ponder on. I would just continue to tell myself you're going to hit every goal that you ever thought you would. Don't worry, calm down, type A girl. Something along those lines.
So calm down, keep going and calm down, or calm down and keep going, right?
Yeah, something along those lines.
Banner.
Yeah. Calm down and keep going, and like enjoy your life. I think I did a lot of that, but like enjoy everything. Soak it all in because nothing kind of lasts forever in a way.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, we've gone through some amazing bits and pieces and got some amazing sound bites from the journey that you just shared, as well as some of the insights that I say and the eloquence that you've been present with right now. So, number one, we're truly
Thank you.
grateful to have you here. And so, before we kind of go slowly towards the end here, I wanted to bring you into a little reflection round, if you must. Call this the
Okay.
hot take, call this the I don't know, lightning round or whatever, but we want to make it more
Okay.
spiritual, if you must. And so we're
Okay.
calling it the reflection round. So,
Okay.
okay, here we go. We got 5 questions for you. Well, 4 questions. 4 questions. I'm looking at my script right here.
Okay.
First question: one truth I'm still learning is.
I'm still learning how to manage conflict.
Very good.
Mhm.
Something that many people that don't really realize when they're in a role that involves being part of the team is that conflict is and will always happen. And it's
Always.
everyone's ability to be more conscious and step back in the midst of this conflict that allows for this conflict to be resolved. And I think many people who aren't in sports, who dream of coming to sports, don't realize that conflict resolution is a massive part of our roles as sports medicine professionals, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Without a doubt. And it's also like a part of your role in life. Even the people that you love so dearly, you're going to run into conflict. And if you don't understand or learn the tools to resolve conflict, as well as look at other sides of people's stories and realize why certain people get to certain conclusions and this, that, and the third, you'll have a really stressful life. And I don't want that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
The best advice I've ever ignored is.
Ooh, ooh. I think growing up, my mom taught me a lot about the Bible. She taught me a lot about reading the word and like holding words of God really close to your heart. And I don't know. I was just like, oh, I'll just pray. I'll just, go to church, da da da. I don't think I understood how powerful it is to have the beautiful words of God in your heart
Hmm,
when you're walking and you're experiencing things and you could automatically remember, no, I'm fearfully, wonderfully made. No, I'm this. No, I'm like what God says about you. And um, what your future will be like is written in stone. So it's a beautiful thing to hold that to heart. I did not when I was growing up, but I've now really clung on to that in a way that is kind of comical considering what I did in the past.
beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. My definition of success has changed from blank to blank.
My definition of success has changed from hitting goals in life, like I would say um, professional and like almost like numeric goals, things about like, doing this by this age, doing that by this, getting this job or this, that. My goals have changed from that to learning how to be a happy person in every
Mm,
situation. You know, I think you realize that like the happiest people in the world are those who some way somehow turn every single situation they're in into some sort of joyful moment, and I think it's super beautiful.
Wow. Powerful words.
Thank you.
Last one. If my younger self could see me now, she'd say blank.
If my younger self could see me now, she'd be very shocked. She'd be very shocked, but she would be super happy. She would be happy that everything, for the most part, that she put down to do, God has made a way for it. She'd be super happy that she is a lot more confident, um, that she is a lot more grounded, that she's found a way to continuously improve herself and is still on that journey every day. That's what she would that's what she would say.
Amazing. Wow.
Thank you.
Toby, thank you very much for sharing this time and space with us.
Thank
Truly
you.
honored for the answers that you've shared and the insights that you've inspired, not just to me, but to those that will be listening in, who, first of all, who are listening in here on Gigaverse, but also who will be listening in as this spreads and turns into different parts of socials and all that stuff as we try to bring positivity, as you mentioned, with the help of technology. Speaking of technology, where can people find you, support you, or do you have initiatives that you support that they can support?
Well, I guess I just opened like one public Instagram account if anybody needs to reach me. I'm on LinkedIn and Dr. Tobi Owatomo and on Instagram as well. Same handle. So if anybody ever needs to reach
Great.
me,
Okay.
they can do that. Yeah.
So you can put that actually, if you want, you can actually put that on the little comment section so that people
Okay.
can be able to like spell it properly. You're like, oh man, now I have to like figure out how to
No,
do
I'll do
this.
it. I'll do it. I think I'm figuring it out. This is a cool platform. I'm only learning about this
So
now.
yeah, it's an interesting platform because it combines like that feeling of a Zoom call, a Twitch, a TikTok shop, a one of these like little like uh, webinar platforms, all kind of in one. Did you put it
Yeah.
on the comments? Did you put it on
Yes,
the
I
comments?
did.
Huh. I don't know
I
why it's
think
not showing.
so. Hopefully. I did. Yes. Do you see it?
Oh, weirdly enough, I don't see it, but
Somebody liked it.
somebody okay, maybe I can't see it because maybe I'm like in the middle of
Okay.
like doing this. Okay, actually, before we go, oh yeah, Dex, we got Dex, by the way, is our producer here. He's here with tier one, and Dex has some stuff for us. Oh, I think we have questions, right, Dex?
Yeah, we have some questions. Some people want to ask. Someone wants to go on stage. If that's okay.
Okay.
All
Toby,
right.
would you mind if somebody went on stage to ask you a question?
Sure.
All right.
All right.
Let me just invite them to the stage. I'll turn my camera off. One moment.
I'm
Okay,
only learning
Adrian,
what the
are you
stage
here?
means.
Adrian, if you're here, you can go ahead, accept the invite. You can go on stage and ask your question yourself.
Also, by the way, I just want to make sure that if any question has to be more related to Toby, not directly related to any kind of organization or player that she works with, if that's okay. Sorry, Adrian, if they were about to ask that question.
Hey, Toby. How are you?
Hi. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Better than I deserve. Thanks for asking.
Awesome. Happy to.
Yeah. EBV, you're doing a great job. And Toby, thanks for all the insights today. Just really appreciate it. I'm
Thank
all the
you.
way from the Philippines right now, and just want to thank you for sharing today. I got a couple of questions for you. I don't know if it's legit to ask. What's it like working with Shay? But my real question for you is more of, how do you help athletes psychologize themselves, especially when they're coming from an ACL or a very horrendous season? You know,
Yeah.
when we talk about big time players in the NBA who cannot play for about a year, And
Mhm.
because of that, they're struggling mentally,
Yeah.
emotionally. They feel like they're letting down their team. And because
Yeah.
of that, the team has to do a rebuild, right?
Yeah.
Fortunately for your organization, things are all green lights. But how do you psychologize people who are coming off a very painful injury to get them
Yeah.
back to high performance? How do you do that?
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Adrian. I appreciate you for joining. And yeah, that's a super relevant question. I would say a little bit about what me and Erwin talked about earlier, which is just like perspective for sure. But something I've been enjoying doing lately is every athlete has an idol in the game, or people that they look up to. And without a doubt, nearly, I mean, most athletes have gone through a big injury in their career. And showing athletes the perspective of, hey, you love so and so athlete, or you love so and so athlete. Do you remember the da 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 season when they tore their ACL? Did that change your perspective on how you think of them now? They were away for an entire year. Do you even remember that? You know, and going through the understanding that this will come and go. It's a season in your life, and you have the opportunity to sink into it, or you can really swim. You can flourish. You can become a better person as well as a better player. So, again, it's about that perspective as well as giving them a bit of motivation, letting them see what can be ahead of them in their career, and letting them see also that there are greats that have come before them and have done exactly and have had the exact same injuries that they're going through has been pretty big.
Wow, thank you. That was super. So
Thank
it's
you.
all about just reminding them that it's a temporary season or a bad episode in their lives and that they can be resilient and come back from that. I guess that's what you're trying to say.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Athletes need perspective just as much as we do, probably even more. So that's definitely the way in which I've done that in the past.
Thanks very much. That's it for me.
No
Appreciate it.
problem. Thank you, Adrian. I appreciate it.
Dex, are you coming back on?
Actually, I so want to ask a question, but I'm a producer. But if you don't mind, Toby, if I ask a question,
Of course.
how do you tell people who are impatient to get back into the game, to just really hold through, wait, especially for high performers? Maybe
Yeah.
it's maybe not an NBA player per se, but for
Yeah.
any high performing uh, corporate athlete
Yeah.
worker. How do you just tell them, um, how we feel like we're okay, but
Yeah.
I guess you guys are the ones who tell us, like, you know breathe, take a breather, you're not okay yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, funny enough, Dex, I think it's actually important to give the perspective that I think more now than ever, athletes are seeing in 4K what happens when you don't wait, right? When
Mm.
you rush things. So it's actually, I wouldn't even, I don't think we're seeing that as often as you think anymore. Where athletes, experience an injury and they just want to go in immediately after, especially injuries that we are known to get worse if they're back in. So, we don't see that at all. And I think that's just something interesting about, like, the social media age where people are able to understand more of the intricacies behind the scenes. Like, you know, an athlete had this injury, then went in too early and something else happened. So that that's not something we deal with as often, but there still are your eager guys. And I mean, it's a multifaceted thing. It's helping guys to understand that you have to play the long game. Nothing quick ever results in anything long lasting or worthwhile. So for me, the technique I've used, as well as many other things, is more about, once again, I know I've said it so many times, but it's the perspective. It's the understanding that, hey, look, we actually can't hold you beyond your we can, there's only so much we could do, you know, but you have to start making decisions in your life that align more with the way you want to live your life. Do you want to be somebody who rushes things and does things halfway and then has to bear the consequences of that? Or do you want to be somebody who lives life where they're patient enough to realize how good things can get and then be able to outperform everything that they could have ever imagined? Um, the person who takes the time to allow their bodies to reset, heal, etc., and then gets back in the game and shines beyond what they were before then. Um, that's more of the perspective, the discussions that I like to have with my athletes, getting them to better understand that there is really no point of rushing an injury. And again, in this day and age, that's not necessarily valued in any way either.
One last question for me,
Course.
and it's for
Yeah.
both of you, because you guys are high performers and train high performers. What is the difference between a high performing person than just any regular Joe, so that you guys can encourage us on things that we can do, right? What's that? I don't know what you call that, like alpha factor or something like that, right? That just differentiates them from everybody else. And how do you apply it to your work? Because you're the one who speak to their lives.
Erwin, I got to hear from you first. You're the OG in this game. If everybody doesn't already know that, I've got to hear from you first. I want to hear.
You're saying that I'm old?
Not old, but you've been in this game much longer than me. I'm trying to get you to your level, so
Much love, much love. For me, actually that's a great question, and for me, that's something I've always looked into for a number of years now. Especially as really gone into my PhD as it relates to gratitude, and how it serves as a high performance tool, and looking at that aspect of it. And for me, it's always really, for me, the simple answer is mindset. The difference, but I heard this once, and I kind of like, not sure who I heard it from, but somebody was talking about this, and it really resonated with me. Where the difference between the the roster player that's from 12 to 15, and then the 15-man roster on the bench, so to speak, compared to the starting five, or compared to maybe the first 10, the first two sets of five, is pretty significant. But
Mm,
then people who are part of that first 10 compared to the first five is pretty significant as well. But
wow.
then you take the star or the leading scorer in that first five and make him compare that person to the rest of the four, that person is pretty significantly different from people of the rest of the five. Now take that one person and compare him to the other one persons, or person number one in every other team around the league. And then you'll be able to determine that it isn't necessarily always the physical aspect of that person who is not only number one in his own set of 15, but also that can be part of the first five, if you must, of the entire league. That degree of separation is pretty massive. And the biggest separator is the mindset, is their ability to determine that they will be the best, not only on their team and in their state and in their city, but in the entire league. And now you have that one person who now becomes a superstar, who now just doesn't want to be the best at the league, but now the best in the world. And the degrees of separation of each one of them is actually pretty massive. And what people don't realize is, somebody reminded me about the stat of the percentages of that, and it's pretty significant. Like, even thinking of like a star, like in one team, But then if you compare him to a superstar, a global superstar, that leap is actually pretty massive. But the biggest difference, besides the physicality, is his or her ability to be able to like go through some of the most challenging periods of time and say, this doesn't put me down.
Mm.
I'm just continuing. This is just a bump on the road. I'm still destined and will be greatness.
Completely.
Wow. Wow. Toby?
Yeah. No, that's a masterful answer in ways I probably could not eloquently explain the way Erwa just did. But I'm just gonna tag onto that and use the word relentless.
Mm.
Erwin said they refuse to take not being the best for an answer, right? Which is why you often see all the best players in the world sit down and say the exact same thing. They all think they're the best.
Oh,
They all think they're the best.
that's so true.
And to some degree, you sit down amongst those maybe, I don't know, top 5 athletes, and it's actually sometimes hard to determine who's the best because they're all so good at their specific game, right? And I mean, it's a relentlessness that I just feel like you can develop, but almost like a perfect mixture of things has to happen. You have to, one, yes, be physically absolutely gifted. Um, but there's just something in people who become superstars that just they there's a lot of people that want to be great, and sometimes I wrestle with this because I'm like, oh gosh, I see this, person who wants to be the best, but they're clearly not. But I start to realize that it starts a long time ago. It starts from a very, very young age where they have seen nothing but where they can go. They have seen nothing but green lights. They just keep pushing,
Mm.
pushing, and they just don't stop. The best people get better every single year. They rarely ever plateau because they compare one year not to other people, they compare it to themselves. Everything is a comparison to themselves, right? So even if they're the best, if they perform the same way or similar to a performance previously, it's not good enough,
Wow.
right? So they end up almost being like their own internal energizer bunny, where they just
Mm.
keep pushing, pushing, pushing. They don't even look left or right because it doesn't matter. It's all internal, and it's a very beautiful thing to see. And I think everyone who experiences it has a very similar experience to it.
Wow. Sounds like, is it switchable? Is it like a Erwin, you would know this, guys. Is it like can they just turn it on or just can they turn it off?
I
Is it
think
something?
inherently, those who have it, it's never switched off.
Yeah.
Maybe it's dimmed just a little bit,
Yeah.
but it's never switched off.
Yeah.
Maybe when they say, "Oh, I'm gonna take a break or rest," they're secretly kind of working on something else underneath to give them
Yeah.
that extra edge. And actually,
Yeah.
there's I think Adrian is asking a question about you're playing in your mind, you're the best in the field, yet not getting caught up in the arrogance. It has to
Yeah.
reflect on their self-talk and how can you be careful not to appear overconfident or braggy.
Yeah.
I think there's a balance with um, being this almost humble warrior mindset that the greatest of all, the greatest of many sport have. It's in the actions that they do. It's not in what they say. It's how they act when nobody's watching. It's those that go to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning when there's no cameras, no social media.
Yeah.
um, it's those that put in the work after the game when they'd had a bad game, not in the middle of the arena so that everyone can take a picture of them, but back home in their house in their private courts, and for the next 2 hours keep on shooting or keep on practicing their handles. I think you're right, Toby. It's the relentlessness that you have, and that relentlessness in silence that truly makes those who are the best in their field the best. And as you said, it starts from a young age. That's trained. That's in a sense, or that's seen in you at a young age, is saying like, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do everything in my power, and not be phased by the shine, but almost shy away from the shine to make sure that I'm actually working on my craft.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I'll just tag on to exactly what Erwin said because it's exactly what I'm going to say, really. But there's nurture and nature, which is like a common, uh, I guess, concept about how people become who they are. And I think when you talk about humility, I feel like a lot of that comes with who raised them. Maybe their parents or their support system maybe did not reach the levels to which maybe this specific athlete had gotten, or this specific professional had gotten to, but they see how, regardless of whatever level of success that this person had, whether it be the mom, a parent, a good friend, a grandmother, whoever took care of them, um, regardless of the level to which this person reached, they still maintained a level of humility where they were still able to bring people up with them. They were still the people to take care of those around them. They were still the people that showed up, to community events, church, whatever it was. And essentially, people become inspired in ways that maybe they don't even realize just because of the way that they were brought up. So that's why, regardless of how, like, what athlete we're talking about, there's always going to be some that seem to balance the humility aspect better than others.
I'm going to go one more of that, Dex, if you don't mind. Is that
Go ahead. Go ahead.
as it relates to what we're doing tonight here on Gigaverse, in collaboration with Tier One, as it relates to the Grasshopper Project. For me, what I've found, and if you look into history, some of the greatest athletes, leaders, business people always had a mentor, always had somebody that started something. And maybe that mentor wasn't the best at what they did, but they were just a notch or two notches higher than the person that asked for support. And what happens is that that person, just through that guidance, learns how to be humble because of the fact that they know that the struggle is real as taught by their mentor. And
Mm.
it's in that mentor's guidance. And the real mentors are those who are supporting that person climbing up through both the good times and the bad times. And even during the good times, being able to then step back and say, hey, this is not my moment, kid. This is yours. And I think if you really look at some of the, in history, some of the greatest athletes, leaders, businessmen in this world, one of the commonalities they have is they all had a good mentor.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so.
Wow. Erwin, I have no more questions. I actually have a gazillion billion questions, actually, but I want to give back the floor to you, give back time to Dr. Tobi. Tobi, on behalf of Tier 1 and Gigaverse, thank you so much. This deserves a part two, but I'll leave that up to Erwin if he can invite you. I know NBA season is just around the corner. For us, we're Filipinos are crazy about the NBA. But yeah, we wish you well. Thank you so much. Erwin, take it away. Maraming salamat, pare. And let's do this more often.
All right. We're about to do, okay, let's do the little closing here so that we can put this as part of the sound bite. Dex, get out of here.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Dex.
Tobi, before we close up here, any last words of inspiration or any message that you'd like to leave for those who are watching now or that will see this soundbite in the future?
I would just say that keep injecting love into this world. Keep injecting love, being authentically you. In your words, Erwin, being extremely grateful for every single thing that God has brought into your life, and um, keep inspiring yourself. Never stop pushing for your best self or your highest point in life. Keep going. It always gets better.
Some people shine in the spotlight. Others, like Tobi, light away from behind all of it. She reminds us that healing is not just physical, it's emotional and it's spiritual. That strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it listens, it studies, it restores. Tobi has shown us that the most powerful leaders are often those who serve in silence, who carry others even when no one's watching. And today, she's given us more than a glimpse of her world. She's given us a reason to slow down, check in, remember that resilience and perspective starts from within. Thank you very much, Tobi, for joining us on this beautiful version of the GP Summit pre-game prior to the GP Summit happening this year. At some point, make sure everyone tune in for when that announcement is going to be on my socials at Erwin B. Valencia, or on the Grasshopper Project social media channel on Instagram at Grasshopper Proj, or on the website at www.grasshopperproject.com. And stay tuned for not only the sound bites that you can keep and share with others from this talk, but also to be able to be part of the GP Summit, especially if you're part of the health, wellness, and performance industries, coming soon. So stay tuned. Thank you very much to GIGAVERSE for hosting us today, and for Tier 1 for being our back end. And to everyone listening in from their homes, from their locker rooms, from the dorm rooms, and everywhere else, thank you very much for being here. And remember, stay grateful.
Thank you so much, Erwin. I really enjoyed it. I appreciate it.
Rock and roll. All right, Dex, let's cut. All right,
Maybe he's
Dex,
still here.
you press record. This stop record, Dex.
See if he's in here.
Is he's like, did he disappear?
He might still be in there.
I'm sure
Oh,
he's still in there.
I see. I see he's still in there.
Is he trying to figure out what to do in the back end?
Maybe.
Robin, do we stop the record button?
It's still recording now.
Okay, I guess I'll stop it because he's not doing it.
I think we can
What?
just leave the stage and live live. Yeah.
Oh, just leave live. Leave the live.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Erwin,
All right.
thank you so much. I appreciate it. I had a good time.
Thank you
You
for being
guys,
here. Thank you for
Jeremy,
sharing your time. I know you
Nice
have
to meet you.
I know you're starting to get ready for some madness here, but
My pleasure to be here. Thank you.
I appreciate you starting off on the little bit of time that you had here, and make sure to send my love to AP, Tony Katz, and of course Donnie Strack.
Will do.
Those are my peeps. So
Will do. Thank you, Erwin. And I'll see you soon.
We'll
All
see you
right.
soon.
Okay,
Hey, when
bye.
you come to Miami, make sure you hit me up, okay?
Okay, good. Is that where
Figure
you're
out
based now?
when you guys get to Miami, like just
I was gonna
circle us.
say, is that like where you're based now? I'm trying to see
Yep.
where in our schedule. When are we gonna be in Miami this year? You know, it's so funny. We don't play like almost any East Coast teams in the East Coast until the new year, which not sure how that
What?
happened.
Until
I
like
know.
February, March?
Yeah, so we don't go to Miami until January.
Oh,
I
okay.
know. I know. It's
You-
interesting how that works, but mid-January.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have a date yet?
Yeah. We go to Miami January, is that 17th? Let me just yeah, that's 17th, January 17th.
Oh, that's a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes, let's
You're coming?
go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Please,
let's
if I don't
go.
remember, can you remind me so I can
No.
try and get you some tickets?
I'll remind you and remind everybody else here. So
Okay, good.
love to see you. We'll love for you, Tony Katz, AP, or whoever, Donnie, who left. If you guys are here for, do you know if you guys are here only just as an overnight, or are you back end of a back to back?
So we're coming from Houston and we do have one night in Miami.
Oh, ho, ho.
Yeah.
Okay. No, because I would love for you all to come to my social wellness club here. You know, it's like think of like all the longevity tools. You know, the 14
Yeah.
sauna, the plunges, the hyperbaric chambers, but in a
That's
very
amazing.
Bali kind of vibe. So
I'm excited. I would love to see that.
whether you need the recovery or you and some players need the recovery, come through.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. That'd be amazing.
Cool.
All right,
All right.
Erwin. I'll
Time
see
for us
you
to leave
and
the
take it
stage.
easy. What'd you say?
Time for us to leave the stage.
Absolutely. I'll see you and take it
All right.
easy.
See you. Cheers.
Bye.